This is Eastern Washington State College, located at Cheney in what has been known for generations as the Inland Empire. North and east of the campus is the beautiful lake and mountain country of this corner of our state, and the city of Spokane only 16 miles away. West, the wheat and cattle ranches of the Big Bend. To the southwest, the revitalized Columbia Basin. And to the south, the rolling hills of the Palouse wheatland. Here in 1890, the Inland Empire built a college. Today, all that's left of the first 20 years of the old school are these pillars of stone, the remains of a building that burned in 1912. Still a reminder of the fact that in the beginning, Eastern was built almost entirely by the willpower of local citizens. But the college has come a long way since those years, and most of that growth has come in the past 10 or 15 years. Today, as the fall quarter begins, several thousand students appear on campus. Some come from as far away as overseas, but most of them from this land of Eastern Washington.
Sacajawea is a symbol to Eastern as a trailblazer of truth and right. Many years ago, as a guide, she led your forefathers to this inland empire.
Dedicated to the instruction of youth and the welfare of the state, Eastern Washington State College has become a trailblazer in its own right. Today, the trail is a broad highway into the future. It's possible for a child's education at Eastern to begin in kindergarten. And who knows, some 16 years from now, this child might be an Eastern graduate. Eastern has trained thousands of teachers for the schools of the state. That is still a major function of the school. But from counting to computers, Eastern is a multi-purpose college today. Here, citizens of tomorrow look inside the atom and look out to the universe. Students at Eastern explore the creative arts of man, study the living things of earth, the practical arts of their own careers, and the tongues of foreign lands.
Wir kennen die Mutter des schlafenden Kindes.
Wir kennen die Mutter des schlafenden Kindes.
Here, most important of all, students learn self-discipline of mind and body in an atmosphere that encourages the individual to realize himself and find his place in the community.
Oh, my handsome, winsome Johnny, I know where I'm going, and I know who's going with me. I know who I love, but the dear knows who I'll marry.
Visit the campus of Eastern Washington State College in September, and you'll find that new students have taken over. But enough upperclassmen are on hand to help the newcomers find their way. This is Orientation Week. It doesn't take long for a new student to feel at home. It's easy to meet and to know everybody, including the president. Parents of the new students are also most welcome visitors during Orientation Week. Every new student is assigned to a faculty advisor. Based on high school records, test data, and personal choice, the advisor helps the student plan a program to fit her individual needs. Continuing guidance and counsel help the student through all her college career. Many different courses of study, many different careers are open to the new student. But regardless of future goals, a good general education is most important in the early college years, a time to acquire the habits, skills, and knowledge essential to effective living in a democratic society. a time for learning and growth that will help the student define his own goals. Every freshman delves into the heritage of his culture, the stream of civilization in which he will live his life. Some will go on to specialize in the social sciences. Every freshman works to improve his command of the English language. And Eastern gives personal attention in the freshman year to this basic skill of all educated men and women. Every student also learns something of the world of science, a discipline now inextricably woven into the fabric of the civilized world. The student at Eastern may go on to special. Students also participate in one of the state's finest and most complete physical education programs. Student services at Eastern emphasize health and physical fitness. On Friday, hundreds of ROTC uniforms appear on campus. A basic 2-year military science course is required of all eligible male students. A 4-year military science program is available for qualified men. Each year, many regular as well as reserve officers in the United States Army are graduated at Eastern. ROTC adds much life and color to the campus, too.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
Military Achievement Day is a highlight of the year at Eastern. Sponsor Corps Women's Auxiliary of the ROTC also has its time in the parade ground spotlight on Military Achievement Day. And that night, there's the military ball. College life isn't all study, even though education is the primary goal. Activities at Eastern are rich and varied. Through relaxation and social experience, student activities make their own contribution to general education. Eastern has many clubs and organizations for students with all kinds of specialized interests. Many learn the satisfying rewards of service in the Spurs, a National Women's Honorary, and the Intercollegiate Knights, or IKs. Several national fraternities and sororities are chartered at Eastern, and Rush Week is a busy time in their houses. With college growth, new resident halls have come to the campus, including this modern dormitory for men, Pierce Hall. Because of Eastern's proximity to Spokane, a rather large percentage of the students are off-campus commuters who drive to classes each day. Whether they're residents or commuters, all students find their way to the Student Union Building. Here is the all-campus meeting place, the spot for a coffee break or relaxation after a tough exam. Resident students eat in the beautiful new Food Service Center, Tawanka Commons. In all of these off-study hours, the friendly atmosphere at Eastern is a campus tradition, and lifelong friendships are a most rewarding bonus in any college education. Extracurricular activities provide many opportunities to gain valuable experience and leadership training. There's work on the college yearbook, the Kinnickinnick. Writing, photographing, and editing chores on a weekly newspaper, the Easterner. Other students work at the college's own AM and FM radio station.
I'm more informed about the student who will be running for various offices. 2 students remain in the running for each of 4 ASC offices following the primary elections last week. The final election will see either Robert D. Clark or Curtis L. Leggett named as...
All regular students are members of the Associated Student Body and elect representatives to the Student Council, the chief organ of student government. The Associated Student Body plans many social and cultural activities on campus. Concerts and convocations scheduled through the year bring to Eastern many internationally famous artists and visiting lecturers. The extremely varied athletic program at Eastern covers every major and minor sport. Golf, wrestling, tennis, gymnastics, and swimming are all included in intercollegiate competition. Many other sports are included in the comprehensive intramural program. Eastern is a member of the Evergreen Conference, competing in all major sports with other colleges in Washington State. The College Marching Band is only one of many fine musical organizations at Eastern. Music at Eastern is not only an activity, it is one of the major fields of study. Eastern has sent generations of music teachers and directors out to the schools of the state.
Put a little more length in your eighth note there. It's too choppy. Try it again right from the top.
Many of these students will make their careers in music. Among them are professional musicians of the future, soloists, arrangers, conductors, as well as teachers. Music majors pursue a full range of academic courses in the history of music, musical theory, and related studies. They and their professors also bring much fine music to the entire student body. All this is just one product of a much broader educational program. When performing groups receive special recognition, for example, traveling overseas for the USO, that's frosting on the cake. Other students specialize in other creative arts. As in music, their efforts contribute to the cultural opportunities for the whole student body. These students may exhibit their works in the on-campus alley gallery. And when the art and drama students have finished with this stage set, and the actors are rehearsed and ready, Shakespeare comes out of the textbook and onto the stage for all the college community at Eastern.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I vow that fixed with silver all these fruit tree tops.
Swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circle o'er.
The cedars are a very ancient group of plants, having survived from much earlier times.
Other students move into other specialized fields of study. The bright and modern Hall of Sciences at Eastern was planned for future student loads. Now houses other classrooms and serves many other functions for the college and the community. But of course, the most important is providing opportunity for study and research in the sciences. There are few more important goals in American life today than the upgrading of science education in all our schools. In the Methods Lab, students learn how to teach in their field. This, a demonstration of air pressure for junior high school youngsters. Other science majors are embarked on pre-professional studies for various careers, including scientific research. The Hall of Sciences has its own library, providing quick access to literature and abstracts in all branches of science. In all well-rounded education, the mind and the hand are trained together, and the division of practical arts thus serves a valuable purpose in general education for those who learn useful and satisfying avocational skills. And of course, the department trains industrial arts teachers for the public schools. Each year at Eastern, there's one class in the manly arts of food and nutrition for men only. For co-eds, home economics may be preparation for marriage as well as a career. Careers for home ec majors include not only teaching, but also positions in retailing and other businesses related to food and clothing. Business administration is a growing field of study at the college. Here, too, specialized teachers are trained for the public schools. But in today's pattern at Eastern, a majority of these students are preparing for careers in business and industry. Physical education at Eastern is more than health-building activity for the whole student population. It's an organized field of study for specialists. Hundreds of coaches and physical education teachers have been trained here. This division at Eastern has developed physical fitness tests for the elementary and secondary schools of Washington State. And these standardized tests are also used in many other states. In addition to specialists for the educational system, the division trains professionally certified corrective therapists. The college has made increasingly important contributions to education in other health sciences. Working with the medical profession of the region, Eastern's Speech and Hearing Center helps many who have speech and hearing problems.
Puppy. Not quite. Let's see if we can say it now with our lips together. Puppy. Puppy. Yes.
This department trains specialists in speech correction, and graduated students may obtain certification in the American Speech and Hearing Association.
Good.
Cooperating with the nursing education program at St. Luke's Hospital in Spokane, Eastern Washington State College provides the basic science courses for student nurses. future registered nurses for our region. Today, many pre-professional students pursue undergraduate studies at Eastern for 2 to 4 years before going on to other schools to complete their professional education. These students prepare for advanced study in such varied fields as medicine, pharmacy, engineering, law, agriculture, and forestry. While this expanding range of choice is characteristic of Eastern today, the traditional role of the college in the education of teachers is by no means forgotten. In fact, it's been expanded with the growing opportunities for specialists. The college also keeps pace with the growing demand for classroom teachers. This elementary school on the college campus won a national award for design of special purpose educational buildings. The central tower over each wing contains observation rooms in which educational psychology students can see and hear without being seen.
Stuff like a sweater, it has holes in it sometimes.
Yes, and it wouldn't hold the air.
In effect, the campus school is a laboratory in elementary education with opportunities for demonstration, participation, experimentation, and student teaching. The campus school has a complete program from kindergarten on through the 6th grade. Student teachers gain valuable experience both in specialized fields and in general teaching. While there's no substitute for ability, training, and skill, the teacher must also know how to use the tools of teaching. In the Instructional Materials Center at Eastern, there's a storehouse of all kinds of teaching aids. Everything from curriculum guides, manuals, and report forms to models, charts, pictures, recordings, and films. The center is available to the public schools of the state as a laboratory for curriculum planning. The materials and the audio-visual equipment are used by the entire college community. The college has established a broadly based Teacher Education Advisory Council, including lay people, the PTA, classroom teachers, and school administrators. Representatives of the college consult with this council several times each year, working together to strengthen a teacher training program that meets the needs of the region. The responsibility to maintain high standards begins when a student first considers professional training. Is teaching the right career for this individual? The Admission to Professional Education Committee must approve all decisions to choose teacher training. A faculty member in the student's major field and an experienced teacher from the same field are included on the committee. But this is only the beginning of the path to teacher certification. Even after 4 years of college and a bachelor's degree, the teacher in Washington State has only a provisional certificate. This graduate of Eastern is in her first year of teaching. The college has a continuing responsibility and interest in her career. Today, a representative from Eastern is visiting her school. He talks with the principal or supervisor, asks about the new teacher's work and how she's adjusting to professional life. There's a visit with the teacher, too, in the fall and in the spring of that first year. In the spring, they talk about additional studies that will be helpful in her work. Thus begins a program for the required 5th year of training. Before summer, a report on the new teacher's progress is submitted to the faculty. And the new teacher returns to Eastern in the summer to begin graduate studies based on her needs. 5th year work may be devoted to studies missed in the first 4 years, to courses on how to teach a particular subject, or to graduate studies in the teacher's major field. During the summer quarter, more than 2,000 students are enrolled. A large percentage of these are graduate students. Today, the college is authorized to grant master's degrees in fields other than education, and graduate study is in progress during any quarter. But the complexion of the student body in summer is rather special. Most of the students are teachers themselves. This path is followed by hundreds of school leaders, supervisors, and administrators who are trained at Eastern Washington State College. The college has one of the finest libraries in the state. Besides more than 1,000 periodicals and more than 120,000 bound volumes in the reading room and the open stacks, there are a number of special collections. These include the famous Kingston collection of Northwest Americana and Indians of North America. Some of the authors are right here on campus, too, for the Eastern faculty includes recognized authorities in a number of different fields. In the broadened function of Eastern Washington State College today, faculty members are pursuing various research projects. Projects here have included research for the Petroleum Institute and for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. The Division of Sciences has received grants from the National Science Foundation to aid in the purchase of advanced laboratory equipment. In addition to students on campus, Eastern serves several thousand others each year in extension and correspondence courses. This is a class at Fairchild Air Force Base. Other classes are held in Spokane and in the Columbia Basin. Under the able leadership of its Board of Trustees, after more than 3/4 of a century of service, the college looks to the future with confidence and optimism. Moving into that planned future, the campus is expanding into the wheat fields of yesterday. As always, the product of the college is citizens, individuals with contributions to make to their communities. Alumni in all parts of the state frequently renew old ties and support their alma mater in many ways. They keep in touch through their quarterly, the Alumni Review. Each fall at homecoming, a student body that will live to see the 100th anniversary of the college is reminded of the trailblazers who were here before. The school has not forgotten its long tradition. One of the highest honors for a senior woman is election as Sacajawea. She acts as official hostess on campus throughout the year. Through nearly half the years since the real Sacajawea led white men to the Inland Empire, the college at Cheney has brought the light of learning to that region. The senior year is a busy one for all, and the college placement office is a busy place. All through the year, representatives of the public schools and of business and industry conduct employment interviews on campus. Their interest is one indication of the growing demand for Eastern graduates in education, business, government service, and social work. Before graduation, most seniors know where they'll be next year. No longer the Cheney normal of many years ago, Eastern Washington State College still proudly remembers its past and even more proudly moves on.